Yeah, go ahead.
Good morning. My name is Oscar Valladares. I'm with SEIU 721. So I have very two things that I thought were interesting that you didn't include: civic union participation among Latinos, especially here in LA, where we have the highest concentration, one, of unions, and two, about 40 to 45% of the population or membership is Latino. Pretty much share the numbers with our fellow brothers and sisters, African Americans. And then two, it's interesting because I was going to follow up with the question of Kamala Harris. SEIU across the state endorsed Attorney General Harris, but even among ourselves, we have conversations. We're participating in campaigns and so forth, civic engagement, and yet Latinos tend to say, yeah, we endorse Attorney General Harris, but yet some actually admit that, oh, I'm going to vote for Loretta Sanchez. So I think
Great.
Thank you for that.
No, excellent. No, excellent questions. And we didn't get a chance to ask a question related to unions, but the other question related to, but we know they play a critical role in terms of Latino civic engagement. So it's an important organization. I don't want to downplay the importance of civic unions. The poll, we're looking at comparisons across various groups, and we see variations in union memberships there. So to the best as possible, we wanted to ask very similar questions across very different communities that make up. So part of that reason might have been why the union question did not make the final cut. But more to the question on Kamala Harris, regardless of the endorsements at the elite level, we do see Latinos still backing 50% saying they intend to vote for Loretta Sanchez, and immigrants in particular, Spanish-dominant Latinos, much more leaning toward immigrants. Now, I have my own theories and hypotheses. I don't want to go into detail as to why that may be the case. But nonetheless, that's what the data shows when it comes to Harris. So part of it might, just simply put, might be a matter of name recognition. Harris is well known, Northern California, the Latino presence, especially the sample that we're using here is from Los Angeles, LA County. So increasing her visibility would certainly increase her favorability ratings, but also increase perhaps the likelihood of Latinos voting for her. Yeah.
Hi, Adrian. Thanks for the presentation. Efraín Escobedo with California Community Foundation. So a couple of things. One is, interestingly, the Loretta Sanchez, Kamala Harris crosstabs interested me as well, because the crosstabs you have show that more Latino Republicans intend to vote for Kamala Harris than they do for Loretta Sanchez versus the Democrats, right? So if you're looking at endorsements or whatnot, I just thought that was interesting and something to look at. And then the other is, when asking the important issues in LA County, if you could just share a little bit more of your thoughts on your crosstabs, again, tease out more a difference between more native-born Latino registered voters cited immigration as an important issue than did foreign-born Latino registered voters. So I'd be curious just to get your take on that phenomenon there.
Sure, and we'd have to go. I don't want to spend too much time dealing with some of the crosstabs that are not reported in the slides, because then we have a private conversation here. But that's something we can talk about later in terms of the Republican support for greater support for Kamala Harris. But I can turn to the slide because there was much to cover. Oops, I passed it here. Yeah. So again, my take on this, why Spanish-dominant Latinos, foreign-born Latinos cite discrimination, you might think, well, why aren't they citing immigration? Part of it has to do with the way, the nature of surveys that are carried out by telephone or through the method that we use. We don't have an opportunity to engage in a detailed discussion with the individual to explain, well, why are you thinking that? So my take on this is, when you ask Latinos, and especially immigrant Latinos, what is the biggest issue facing the Hispanic Latino population, it's not surprising that a lot of them are going to say discriminación, el racismo contra los hispanos. But the mindset is in the context of what? In the context of this election, in the context of, what are they saying against Latinos, Hispanics? it's about immigration. It's synonymous with immigration. So for me, I wouldn't say this is distinct from that immigrants are not thinking about immigration issues, that they've kind of distanced themselves. No, not at all. I think for them, the issue of discrimination is very pressing, very real. And so when they're talking about discrimination, my take on this is they're thinking about the rhetoric that is being used against immigrants. Okay, let's go over here to this side.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Rodrigo Byerly. I teach in the management department, College of Business and Economics at Cal State LA, and I'm also a principal with eViters, which is a market research firm here in LA. Thank you for the poll and the results. I have a question about the methodology and also about one of the results related to Donald Trump and immigration. Could you talk a little bit about how you reach different segments of the Latino electorate, cell phone, landline, email, and then whether or not there is a change in how you're reaching people, whether they're easier to reach on cell phones, whether they're harder to reach on landlines, and if there's a difference in results depending upon who you reach and how you reach them. The second part is when you reviewed the Donald Trump results, I noticed that there was about 16% of the population that viewed Trump favorably. When you then talked about immigration, and there was a slide, I think, that referred to a path to citizenship versus the number of people that support the policy of sending people back home. There was a 14% segment of the population that supported that. Who is the 16% that support Donald Trump and the 14% that support this send them back home policy?
Great questions. I mean, luckily we have our chief methodologist, Matt Baretto, up here. While I appreciate methodology, maybe let's set the methods for aside. But maybe in the discussion we can go into greater detail about who are the concern. And I get asked that question all the time. Who are the support? 16%. While it's historically low, in the context of this election, people are still shocked to say, but it's 16%. That's not a small number. Who are these 16%? Where are they? Am I rubbing shoulders with these individuals? Are they in this room? But that's something we can talk about a little bit more. So great question. Why don't we go ahead and do the.